Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Well, if the Ukrainians are reporting this piece of news, that means the situation is more desperate because they will try to minimize the enemy's successes and maximize their successes. Obviously maximize their losses and minimize their losses. So Ukraine here make some claims on the front, and allegedly reportedly, or according to them, the enemy, which is the Russian troops, the enemy conducting offensive operations in Bakhmut and Avdiivka directions. So this is from Ukrinform. It's a Ukrainian news outlet, and it's from today, the 10th of November 2022. So enemy conducting offensive operations in Bakhmut, Avdiivka directions. The enemy is trying to hold the temporarily captured territories, focusing efforts on attempts to disrupt the actions of the defense forces in certain directions, and conducts offensive operations in the Bakhmut and Avdiivka directions. The General Staff of the Armed Forces of Ukraine said this in its operational update as of 6 a.m. on November 10th. And it says, in the past 24 hours, units of the defense forces have repelled attacks by the occupiers in the areas of Novoselivka, and Makiivka of Luhansk region, and Soledar, Kliskivka, Mayorsk, Yakovlivka, Andriivka, Bilohorivka, Vesele, and about 3 more on Donetsk region. The Russian forces continue to shell the positions of Ukrainian troops along the contact line, fortify defensive positions and conduct aerial reconnaissance. The enemy continues to violate the norms of international humanitarian law, the laws and customs of war, attacking the civilian infrastructure and civilian residential areas. Well, if we go by that, my God, they should have raised the whole Ukraine already in 9 months. In the past 24 hours, the invaders launched 11 missile attacks and 22 airstrikes, more than 35 MLRS attacks. Areas of more than 30 settlements in Sumy, Luhansk, Donetsk, Dnipropetrovsk, Zaporozhye, Kherson and Mykolaiv regions were affected, basically everywhere. In the Volyn and Polisia directions, the situation has not changed significantly. The Republic of Belarus continues to support the Russian armed aggression against Ukraine, accepts and hosts Russian military, and provides training grounds for them. The information of a joint Russian-Belarusian group of troops is currently underway. There is still a threat of missile and airstrikes on the critical infrastructure of Ukraine from the territory of the Republic of Belarus, including the use of Iranian-made UAVs. They try to draw those guys in. That's why they mention Iran all the time now. In other directions, the enemy used tanks. When you hear tanks, that means they're trying to advance. Because when they don't use the word tanks, that means they just, I shoot you, you shoot me, say hello, drink a little bit, and here we go again. So in other directions, the enemy used tanks, mortars and artillery of various types to shell settlements. And I will see. In the Siviersky direction, the area of, and they give us about 7 settlements, and Strakovke of Sumy region. In the Slobozensk directions, the areas of, and again they give us 3 regions here, settlements. In the Kupiansk and Liman directions, and again they give us about 7. In the Bakhmut direction, the area of Bakhmut, and then we got a New York here, if you believe it or not. In the Avdiivka direction, the areas of Vuhledar, Nevelsky, another 5 settlements, in the Novopavlivka and Zaporozhye directions, the areas of, and they give us here about 7 locations. And then they are in the Bukh directions, and they said that in the enemies continued to conduct aerial reconnaissance, actively using UAVs. More than 15 sorties were made. Aircraft of the defense forces of Ukraine struck enemy positions 6 times during the past day. 2 areas of enemy personnel, weapons and military equipment builds up, as well 4 positions of enemy air defense systems were damaged. Over the past day, the defense forces shot down 5 Shahin and 3 Orlan UAVs in different directions. Over the past day, Ukrainian missiles and artillery units struck 1 command post, 1 area of manpower, weapons and military equipment buildup, and ammunition depots and other important military objects of the occupiers. Where is the offensive? Again, where it's been for the past, I don't know, month and a half, which is Bakhmut and Avdiivka. Those are the ones, and I think it was another one that they mentioned, but not in this little article. The rest is just on and off. If you remember, the Russians withdrew over the Dnieper River on the. So it's the same on and off exchange of fire. Now the Russians moved on the left bank of the Dnieper River and Kherson because of they're afraid that the Ukrainians will blow up the water dam and the hydroelectric power plant upstream, and they will flood the whole area. Well, the same thing the Ukrainians said, that the Russians already put explosives on the dam, and they're getting ready to do that. Now, if that would be the case, why do you move from one side to another one? Why there's the higher ground and there's not going to be flooded? Doesn't make sense. And also they reported that about 115,000 civilians moved from the right bank, from the west bank to the east bank because of the the flooding that might occur if the Ukrainians blow up that thing. So this is what's going on over there in as a big picture. Not much how should I put it, achievements on either side. And unfortunately, civilians are not only civilian humans, because the army, the fighters, the personnel are also humans. So destruction and death. Thank you very much for offering this little spectacle that will spread and could start in other areas where I mentioned in previous videos around the world, East Asia, Middle East, and Balkans, just to mention a few. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.